I wish you look at me that way. Your beautiful eyes looking deep into mine, telling me more than any words could say. But you don't even know I'm alive. Baby, to you, all I am is the invisible man.
25 years, it sounded like it was yesterday.
So Invisible Man we recorded 1996, and that song was originally meant for Boyz II Men. It was submitted for Boyz II Men at Motown, and then the president, Andre Harrell, heard it, and it got passed to us. For us, that was the first song we ever recorded after we got signed, and ended up being our first single. So for us in the studio, it was nerve-wracking. I mean, we had recorded a demo, but this was our first time being signed. Felt a lot of pressure to do a good job.
You're at the Hit Factory in New York.
Yeah.
It was like this, legendary studio. Pretty intense.
First time I heard it was outside of the La Montrose Hotel in a car radio right when we were going in the hotel.
Yep.
It was on Kiss FM. It was so exciting.
And what I remember most about recording that song was the producers who we were working with were incredibly, they were such sticklers for...
Very meticulous.
For nailing, so we'd stack the harmonies, and it was like, I just remember being in the booth for hours, just doing harmonies. It seemed to take forever. The thing I remember about I Do is we recorded in Nashville with Keith Thomas at his home studio, and the
Franklin.
Franklin.
Yes, it wasn't Nashville.
Wrong city.
It wasn't
Franklin,
Nashville.
Tennessee. Correct.
Yes.
Sorry, Nashvillians.
Yeah.
But I remember the one. I was a little under the weather when we recorded that song, and I remember this was a tip that Keith gave me that I still actually use to this day. He said, "Try eating Lay's potato chips, like the old school Lay's potato chips, and the oil from the chips will help kind of coat your throat." He said it works for Vanessa Williams. It'll work for you. So I tried it, and I still do it to this day.
And his voice sounds so syrupy and beautiful on that song. It must have really worked.
I sound kind of
so
like
if you
Vanessa
want to be a
Williams
good
on that
singer
record.
like Nick Lachey, Lay's potato chips.
She's been good to me.
The hardest thing was a song that we almost didn't record. It was the last song we recorded for that album, and it was kind of like we just needed one more song. We chose between three, and we were like, none of these are really speaking to us. And our manager was like, well, let's record this one. You guys should record this one. We're like, all right, fine, but we got to change that Dr. Zhivago line. And
We asked David Frank,
begged.
the producers, David Frank and Steve Kipner. We said,
Yeah.
hey, can you change it? And they said no.
Yep.
We're not
And
changing
then
it.
still, it
to this day,
lives today.
it baffles the majority of our audiences what it even means.
It baffles me every time I sing it. Like, what does this even mean? Like Dr. Zhivago, oh my love, I'll be sending.
Yeah.
Is that even the melody? I don't.
That's it.
was
Yeah,
close.
that's
It was
it.
close.
I'm trying to
That's it.
start a bit song.
You got the words right.
But
That's,
yeah, but so it's like this really random line. And I just remember it was the end. It was the very, like Drew's point was the very last song, and we were just ready for the record to be done. You know what I mean? We were just tired, and we all kind of went to the studio. Let's just do this thing, and it ended up being our biggest airplay song.
Yeah.
So you never know.
So Give Me Just One Night, it was written and produced by Anders Bagge, who did Bagge, who did a bunch of songs for us over the years because of you, along with other ones.
Did our whole Christmas record.
Yeah, and it was kind of crazy because we were singing this Latin-infused song that was written by this Swedish guy, and we were singing it. And actually, Tito Puente was supposed to come in and play percussion on
I
it.
forgot about that.
Yeah, and he passed away right before we were able to work with him. But yeah, it was kind of like this kind of crazy. And that was that the first song we recorded for Revelation?
Can't remember, but I do record it. We recorded it in Larrabee Studios in LA, and it was a fairly small studio. It had 2 rooms in it, and we had one that we were recording our Revelation album in, and Death Row had the other room in the studio, and so it was just very juxtaposed situation going on in the studio as firearms were being laid down on the table in one room, and then we were recording Una Noche.
And not only did Anders, do Una Noche and Because You, in our entire Christmas album, he's also the producer on our new single, Got You. So it's like a full circle 25-year later moment. So when you find good people to work with, you hold on to them.